everybody. It's Linda G with our friend Mel. Mel. We were just talking about in our youth how we, when I was young, we used to go to San Francisco, Treasure Island, to the Enlisted Men's Club on the base, and I was underage. I did something like I worked for Singer Business Machines, and they used to do indiciums, and they used to have like these wax letters. So I would change the number of my thing. So if I was pulled over, I could just thumb wipe it. And they always let us in, and the guys were all ready for us. And we'd have a long line at Tequila Sunrise. And my rule was we dance, we party, and then we leave. I don't want you lingering. And we had Black Magic, a great band that did Brick House, Who's That Lady? And right. we used to I mean, we danced so hard you never got a buzz because you were consuming whatever you were drinking.
Oh yeah. You would like burn it off.
God, we had good times. And as soon as the show was over, I'm like, yeah, girls, get in the bus, so to speak. I had a 63 Valiant, 3 on the wheel.
Oh, you were a hot mama.
I was a hot mama.
We used to go to this bar called Charlie's Angels. I don't even know what's there anymore. It was a gay bar, but it was country and western. My friend Bevy and I. And we would dance all night long. They had like a 4 or 5 o'clock liquor license. We'd come out, the sun was coming up. Then we'd go eat some greasy food, and then we'd come home. I remember going to Boston. She's a flight attendant when her son was studying at the Boston Conservatory. And we'd go see him and like the operas he was in. And then we'd go out dancing and drinking all night long. Oh my God.
Those days are gone for me.
Oh, me too. I can't.
And listen, of course, I wasn't even of age to drink. So, but I worked, and I could always go to work the next day. Never had a hangover.
Oh, me either. It was like, get up and do it again, you know?
The girls always wanted to stop off at Jackie Box before I dropped everybody off. And they always got the tacos. I didn't like Jackie Box tacos, but there's a lot of people that live for it, especially with a hangover.
Oh my God, that was the
burger.
That food, Jack in the Box, I remember those so well. It was like, your arteries would go like this, right? That bombs for days. Or White Castle. White Castle was amazing.
Oh, we didn't have White Castle.
Oh, you didn't have White Castle? We called them sliders. They were so good.
I know. My girlfriend, she was from West Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
And she'd have family that come to see her bring kind of like overnight, bring a case of White Castles. Really.
Oh.
Those frozen ones aren't the White Castles that I tasted.
Yeah, they're tiny, but the White Castles are tiny, but they're amazing. But
yeah, I heard they were delish.
Oh my God. You can eat a dozen of them. It was like, oh.
Oh my God. Okay.
So here we are, reliving our youth.
Yeah, well, I have some good questions.
Okay, go for it.
Stephanie Craig said, what's going on with the so-called moderate reps in the Senate like Romney, Collins? Will they ever speak up and do the right thing with the debt ceiling voter rights?
Well, Romney did speak up against Trump with that whole impeachment thing.
Right.
You know, behind closed doors, you and I have talked about this. You know, they're telling even Cheney what a jerk Trump is, but I think the election, the midterms coming up and all of that, I think that they don't want to come out against him publicly because they're fearful of what it would do to them. They just want to hang on to his constituents, right? But I think after the midterms, my guide showed me a few more of the Republicans will speak up.
Because they're going to lose. They think they're going to win, even with the gerrymandering. And what will happen is it's a significant enough loss like 2018 that they're saying, oh, wait, the Trump ticket isn't the way.
Right. And I think a lot of people think that he's going to run again in 2024. But I don't see that. I just don't see it.
I see too much trouble, especially financially. And I don't know if he's sick or I feel like he's sick. And I also feel like it's bah humbug. Like, you know, like he's not doing this because of something, but it's a lie why he's not doing it. It's actually because he knows he's going to lose.
Exactly. You know, my guides are showing me for a long time, illness all around Trump. But ultimately, I see that the states are trying to suppress voters' rights. Ultimately, they will fail. My guide show me that. Just like that abortion law in Texas, a judge said it was unconstitutional, but then I think it was the Fifth Federal Circuit,
which is very conservative.
which is very conservative. One was put in by Trump, one of those judges. They kind of reinstated it for a while, but if it goes higher, I don't know. I just don't see it holding water at some point. That long.
I feel like it's not gonna, even Susan Collins is against it, and she said so.
Well, Susan Collins, I don't have a lot of.
I know.
Or
he learned his lesson.
Oh yeah, I can do her like he learned his lesson.
Yeah.
So you just go a shake and bake commercial. You put it in the bag and hold still. I just don't like her. I'm sorry.
Okay, I was surprised she won again. I really was.
Well, Maine's weird where they do their.
That live in Maine, and they weren't happy with her.
I think behind the closed doors, she's kind of regretting the fact that she did what she did with Trump. Like, he didn't mean it. He's sorry. Yeah, right. Okay.
Right. Stephanie Lake, will anything improve with the current housing situation? Many people are unable to afford a house and are priced out of their hometowns.
My guides say the answer to that is yes. However, I think a lot of it's going to be contingent on getting this infrastructure bill passed. And by the way, it will pass.
Okay, thank you.
But I don't think we're going to see it this year, maybe not even in the beginning of next. I do see loans coming for people to help them get housing and affordable housing.
That's what I saw down the road here. I saw them putting into place ways that people who really are knocked out of being able to own a home, to get a home, first time buyers kind of situation.
But I also predict, my guides show me that this current thing going on with the housing market where people are paying above appraised value, what didn't we learn from in the past? There's going to be a crash, not as bad as 2008.
I never thought bad as 2008.
But it will be a crash. And so right now it's a seller's market. There's going to be a lot of short sales, and at some point it'll become a buyer's market again. I say within the next year and a half, it's starting to change already, which will bring prices down.
Right.
So that's what I into it.
Oh, yes, this is a good question from Rosa. Will Bannon be arrested for not answering the subpoena? And she also put Meadows ?
Oh, Bannon?
Yeah.
Well, he's thumbing his middle finger, as they all did. Well, under Trump, they got by with it. And now he's trying to thumb his middle finger, read between the lines, right? At Congress. And they will issue a subpoena to him.
I'm telling you, I see him actually working with them.
Exactly.
I see him singing like a bird.
And at some point, my guides show me him under indictment again.
Right.
The question is, will he be convicted? And the answer is
yes, because I saw him in jail again.
And I think that, Scavino, Patel, and Meadows had better watch their P's and Q's, because they're also going to be under investigation. But I see indictments coming against a few of them as well. And
right, but it's like they're saying, yeah, whatever, we don't have to do this. And they are going to be surprised what's coming up.
Well, they were trying to use executive privilege, but Bannon can't because he didn't work for the president even at that time. And the Biden White House just said Trump can't hide behind an executive privilege.
But they're doing this for the sake of the Trumpsters. They're saying, what's his name? Bannon said, the president has advised me not to speak. Well, that doesn't hold water, but it does with his constituents.
But but when Bannon said that,
yeah,
what he didn't realize is that implicates Trump in obstruction of justice. Exactly. And so they just keep hanging themselves.
I mean, really, right. If you think about the days of Lincoln, how many people that tried to create this insurrection and all this, about 14 members of Congress got kicked out.
That's right. And what about Scott Perry, who's trying to undercut the efforts or tried to overturn the 2020 election results? And Trump actually asked, and this will come out, I think it was Richard Donahue, the Justice Department's second in command, for a cell number so Perry could call him to try to overturn the election results.
Where was Perry at? What state?
I don't know. But anyway, he's going to be under investigation and indictment.
Wow.
About the House Freedom Caucus. Those were hardline conservatives. And they took an active role to help Trump to trying to strategize ways to undercut the presidential win. A lot more of that's going to come out.
You know, it's like the vision I get is Biden and all the Democrats literally taking shovels and digging out dirt.
Oh,
And there's so much stuff. Even Merrick Garland is overwhelmed.
it's
There's
just a
so
mountain of,
much stuff, but they are talking about the big picture and a plan.
oh yeah.
But there's a lot of things that we don't even know that they're going to start because they've gotten information that's pretty spectacular.
Garland is looking at things behind closed doors that we.
Yes.
That's what my
And
guy.
also he has to be careful about the FBI because not all of them are on the same. Some of them are on the Trump train.
Well, I think they're going to clean house with that. You know, the DOJ people that Trump put in place to kind of perpetuate the big lie or to help try to overturn the election.
Right.
They'll be gone. You know, it does. I think working for the FBI, I don't care about what your political affiliations are. You just can't let that interfere with your job.
Right. Exactly.
And so a lot of those people that are the Trumpsters were leaking information in the FBI. They're going to be gone as well, Linda.
Right. Right.
So, but Perry did take a direct role in trying to help Cheeto Head
Yeah.
install loyalists in the DOJ, which they did, who would assist in undermining the legitimacy of Biden's win.
Yeah.
And that's all going to come out.
It's all going to come out.
Yep.
Pandora Papers be the beginning of the systematic change in the economics that ends capitalism?
Absolutely.
Ooh.
There's a lot more coming out with that too. My guide's saying the answer to that is yes. Doug Mastricano, I think he's a Pennsylvania state senator. They're also under investigation, I feel. And one of Trump's attorneys, Cleta Mitchell, it's not going to look pretty for them either.
So the Rottweiler or whatever her name is, the big tall, first Giuliani got banned from Mar-a-Lago.
Right.
Then the Rottweiler got banned, or the Kraken, they also called her.
Right.
She got banned.
Right.
And then just now the guy Revis or whatever his name is, the one that was sleeping with the North Dakota governor.
Oh, I can't. Yeah.
Before you know it, Trump's going to be banning everybody.
Exactly. You know, it's just it's a playbook directly from Donald Trump telling Bannon executive privilege, but that does not hold water. And you know, this Congress is not going to cotton to them saying we ain't going to testify.
And they got to hit it while they can, because they are worried about losing their majority, but they won't.
Exactly. But if they don't comply, they're going to be charged with criminal contempt. So
yeah. I love it. So, hey, is Matt Gaetz held a rally at the DJT property recently. It was moved from the presidential ballroom to the lobby because less than 10 people showed up. Is he losing support is the question. I think so.
Totally. And I'll tell you another person that's going to lose a lot of support is that Marjorie Taylor Greene. I call her the blonde bimbo.
Yeah.
You know, what did they say that Gates moved it from the ballroom to the somewhere, right?
Out into the lobby. Only 10
No,
people.
actually that was erroneous information. He moved it to the outhouse. Is what
Jesus.
I didn't say the S house. I said the outhouse.
They had it on tape too. So that was wonderful. And do you think any senators will resign?
Oh, in the wake of all of
It's
this,
held before the US Senate 2022 election. I don't
I
see it. I see them hanging on.
they'll hang on because they're going to hope that they can overtake the House and the Senate, especially the Trumplicans. Now, after that, with what I see coming out of the January 6th commission and all of that, then there's, they're gonna have to resign.
And something's going to happen to Trump too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like when Trump, like I always tell people, it's like McCarthyism. All of a sudden there's a switch. Someone turns off the switch. And then when Trump is going down, they're going down.
McCarthyism didn't just end overnight, but I forgot who came forward to kind of start showing what was
Somebody
going
said
on.
something to Joe McCarthy.
Right. And then it was just a
Or
snowball.
have no decency or something.
Right. And that's what's happening here. Trump's fall has begun. I mean, I just think it's sad that we become a nation of bullies, and that bothers me.
And when you hear the story of how close they were.
Oh,
my guys didn't show me behind the scenes underhanded bull, how close they were to trying to prevent Joe Biden from being president. They showed me the outcome. He would be president, but there was a lot of underhandedness going on.
Oh, totally. Anyway, absolutely. Did you hear that the Cyber Ninja CEO says no more audits?
Think?
Yeah, because he doesn't want to get sued anymore.
Yep. Hey, someone asked if there's going to be any more massive power outages nationwide. You know what's a trip? That guy from Tesla, what's his name? Elon Musk.
Oh, Musk, yeah.
Moved his plant to Texas, who's famous for outages.
Wow.
Why would he want to move there?
Who knows?
Well, he did say, and I can understand this part. He did say because to live, see, his plant was in Fremont, I think. And, to buy in California a home is like near impossible. So Texas is easier for his employees to be able to buy homes and stuff. Of course, he had enough money to buy every one of his employees a house.
Exactly. Did you hear that Bill Shatner from Star Trek? He's 90. He's going to go up in
I
space.
can't believe he's 90. He looks fantastic.
I met him once. My friend Reed Davis out in California said, come to lunch. We were out there pitching a TV show, and he said, I've got a surprise for you. So we went to lunch, and I said, do I have to dress up? Because I hate wearing a tie. He goes, no, you do wear shorts and a nice shirt. And we were seated, and Bill Shatner was there, and it was kind of cool. We had a long conversation. I'm sorry.
Was he nice?
He was very nice. I started to talk about Star Trek, and he said, I really don't like to talk about that, because I said, but it was so icon. And he said, yeah, but it was peripheral to everything else I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so,
that was a shame when that wife he had was on the bottom of the pool dead.
We talked about that too, actually.
Yeah, she's okay now, but.
Yeah, but people thought he had something to do with it, but
no, he didn't have nothing to do with it.
He had nothing to do with that. I think she was an alcoholic, and she had her head.
Big time alcoholic. So was he.
I can't comment publicly, but
well, I can publicly tell you he was too. That's probably why he looked so good. He got pickled a little bit.
I can say that I had a few drinks at lunch. I'll say that.
Okay. But yeah.
They weren't iced tea.
Right. So what do you think about Andrew Lang and his Forward Party? Is it going to become something, or?
If so, it's going to take a long while. I don't know what you're intuiting on that.
Well, my son loves Andrew Yang.
Right.
And he was very upset the way they treated him, and which I don't blame him. But I do see more than Republican, Democrat, Green Party. I see a lot of parties like they have in Germany.
But we have to be careful right now, because if you get the party split or the vote split, that could put somebody like Cheeto Head or his likes back in power.
Right.
My guides do show me that the Republican Party, what's left of it, if there's a good part to it, will be redefined, and then the Trumplicans at some point, that'll just, I don't know. Ultimately, that'll go by the wayside.
Right. So do you think Al Franken will make a comeback?
I do,
Me
absolutely.
too.
My guide showed me him running again because, what he did wasn't cool, but
But it was nothing.
in comparison to what Kavanaugh did and some of those other clowns, it was
Yeah.
just minor.
Gina wants to know, can you please talk about the third eye and how to open it?
Well, I think the third eye is always open. It's just that for some of us, we pay more attention to it and it's open more than others. We all have intuitive, I use the word intuition, psychic, all interchangeably. We all have that ability. Now, some of us have it more strongly than others. And those who have it strongly, like yourself and I do, I call that the gift, but we all have it. So what I tell my students is pay attention to that first thing that comes through. It could be a thought, a feeling, because that's your intuition.
Okay.
And then we get hung up in the analysis paralysis. Is this my intuition? Is that me thinking this? Da, 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 da. And what I tell my students is just give the message. So, one of the ways you can kind of focus on the third eye is do your meditation,
Right.
but pay attention to what's coming through. And so that's the short answer.
There you go. So what do you think about Manchin and Cinema? Are they going to be back on the roster for renewing their senatorships, or are they going to be taken out?
Well, the last video that you and I did, somebody asked about Cinema and Manchin, and it was like, I said, well, he's going to get a job requisitioning toilet paper. And I said, she's too busy cutting friends with her Republican deals in the bathrooms in the stall. Remember when they asked her, she went in the bathroom?
They say, I don't know if this is true, but Biden says she doesn't answer his calls, but she answers Mitch McConnell's calls.
Oh, totally. My guides tell me she's going to get primaried out.
Oh, good.
And I understand Manchin kind of walks a tightrope because he's from a very conservative state.
Right.
But still, he's got to watch his P's and Q's because, the people in his state can be very fickle.
Well, let me tell you, West Virginia, he's saying he doesn't want people to feel they have entitlements. We should not be giving money to other people, poor people.
But you don't do that in a state like West Virginia.
Takes more federal money. People like California and Chicago and all these other places, our tax money is going to saving. If they didn't have us, they wouldn't be alive. They wouldn't exist. So what's the point?
I see somebody else in power who's a Democrat in West Virginia, not Manchin. And what really bothered me is he was on his yacht and those people came in kayaks. So the people in West Virginia are very poor, many of them, and he's vacationing on his yacht and he won't put this infrastructure bill together because for what reason, who knows? But that would bring jobs to his state.
They have no clue how bad they look. They have absolutely no. I know Cinema's already, everybody said, if you vote against this, from where she's from, Colorado, right? If you vote against this, you're dead to us. But she really doesn't care. She made so much money in that short amount of time she was in there.
She reminds me of my one tomato plant. It's got, I think it's called blossom end rot. It needs more calcium, but I was out there pulling the tomato this morning. I'm still getting tomatoes, by the way, in October in Chicago. That's unheard of.
Right.
But even the top was okay and the bottom was kind of rotten. And that's what Cinema reminds me of, that tomato. Like the top's okay, but the bottom's all rotten. She's getting money from the Republicans left and right.
Oh, they found it. They found she's someone that'll, for money, she'll do anything.
Well, that's why I said she goes in the stalls of the bathroom and works with the Republicans.
Right. It's a shame. It's very sad.
She will be out, totally out.
Yes.
And I see some kind of, I don't want to say investigation, but people delving into some of her backdoor activities, and it ain't going to be pretty.
Right.
And all that's going to
The
come.
other thing is, I see the turtle, because when he loses yet again, he thinks he's going to be speaker again. But when he loses yet again, that's the beginning of the end for him. This is when he's exiting, because this Trump thing is suffocating him. The problem for him
many
is
of the people in Kentucky
Yeah.
Many of the people in Kentucky have had it with him. So
Jesus,
I just,
don't know if
I say the same thing. Mitch McConnell talks about, oh, we got to stop this spending. But yet he let Trump spend more money than any president in history.
we can say that till the cows come home. It is so black and white. It is so unfair. It is so, we won't let you bring in Merrick Garland. By God, it's too close to an election. It's 9 months till the election. Then when Ruth died, oh, well, yeah, we can, because you know what? We can.
Exactly.
So you know what? Like they say, when the Republicans lose, they act like they won. And when Democrats win, they act like they lost.
Well, the Dems need to get it together, because we've been given this opportunity, and they need to grow a set and step up to the plate and really, instead of infighting with Cinema and Manchin, I call her Enema, and Manchin, they need to get it together and say, wait a minute, we're not going to allow this in the party, and here's what we're doing. And I do see at least the progressives and the moderates in the party coming together more and more in the Dems.
And saying, you guys got to go. So that judge, did you hear about this? Meg wrote, and she said, well, Judge Donna Scott Davenport faced consequences for her jailing Black children for fake charges in order to populate the for-profit juvenile prison system in Tennessee. Holy wow.
Before you said that, a light bulb went on in my head. And my guide showed me, this is going to open a can of worms to open people's eyes about prisons for profit.
This isn't the first time I heard this. I think 2020 or one of those did an expose on a male judge that was getting pocketed cash for doing that.
And that's exactly what my guide showed me was going on with her. She was getting cash, okay, or payoffs under the table, obviously, to charge these children and to put them in, for private juvenile detention centers, because she was making money on it.
Yeah.
And her judgehood will be revoked. And
I did too. Yes, I'm feeling like there's a hearing, and they said, you know what, because she took money, she has to go.
She's going to face criminal prosecution.
Oh, yes.
And here again, will be convicted. And what I see with that, and I really didn't know about it until just now, my guides tell me a lot of those kids that she convicted, that she put in that juvenile system, will have their cases overturned.
Wow.
Because they didn't get a fair trial.
No, they sure didn't. And there'll be lawsuits galore, by the way.
Huge.
So is Orange Crush Head, is he upset he didn't make the Forbes list?
Make the what?
The Forbes list.
Of course he is. Cheeto had probably tried to buy some people over there to get his name on the Forbes list.
Oh, that's what he did, and he faked the money he had.
I'll be glad when his income tax comes out, all of it.
Well, it's been out, and I don't know why it's taken so long. Okay, someone said Sterling, Linda, what materials will houses be made of in the future? But you're not Sterling, you're Mel. By the way, everybody, because I'm doing a girls' weekend next week, I'm not going to be able to do Sterling until the 27th, and him and I have discussed it. So the 27th, Sunday the 27th, then we'll be back on schedule.
Hi, Sterling.
Hey, Sterling. So what materials will houses be made of in the future? Very interesting.
You know what hits me? They were doing a lot of testing with ceramics. And ceramics will last for thousands of years.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't crumble, or?
I'm sorry?
It doesn't crumble?
I don't think so. I don't know the exact technology behind it, but the first thing that came into mind was ceramic.
Isn't that interesting?
You know,
I think the portable homes that are built real easily are going to happen. But I love a show called History Houses, where people go and redo these homes.
Love those.
Yeah. I love those shows. And the diamonds they find with certain types of woods and stuff. But anyway, they were just at this house, and they were showing that it was made from like cement and horsehair. Horsehair kept things together. And you could see the pieces of the horsehair. Who knew? They thought of all kinds of stuff.
Well, in Germany, like in some of the towns, in one of the towns, there's this wall that was built by the Romans. And so they would build the houses. The back of the house would be against that wall. When we were there, they were renovating some houses that were built in the Middle Ages. And between floors, they would use straw and mud as an insulator. And then a lot of times for wattle and daub, it would be like mud, straw, and cow or horse dung, because it would hold it together. Exactly. And then when that would dry, it would get real hard almost.
Wow.
And, yeah, it's pretty amazing. Horsehair is the same thing. It's like a binder.
Right.
It's like, but I think ceramic, that's what's hitting me. And I think, we're going to be a lot more energy conscious. Like if a house has biomass, like why do you think things in a basement stay cooler? Because it's underground. There's a lot of biomass around it to keep it cooler. So I think earth ships, things like that. Read about earth ships, everybody. They're kind of cool.
And no more with electricity being above ground. They're going to put it underground now.
They'll put it underground. And I think, a lot of communities will go to wind power. So, you have those huge wind turbines that can power like a lot of communities.
But they cause cancer. President Trump said they cause cancer.
All righty then. Wow. And he also should inject himself with Clorox for COVID.
Right. Oh, okay. Martha wants to know, when do the guides see if Citizens United will be repealed?
I don't know if Citizens United ever will be repealed. But that's that ultra-right group, right? Citizens United.
Right.
But I think that they're going to get a lot of negative press and kind of show their shenanigans. I think they're behind a lot of this supporting Trump stuff as well.
Right.
I don't, if I look like maybe 5 years from now, I don't see them around that strong at all. So.
That's cool.
That's how I look at it.
Somebody said, where's the Psycho Duo comedy cooking show? You guys, I got everything to start my cooking show. I just have to set it up.
Oh, we talked about that.
The winter time is a good time to start it.
I'll teach them how to make glühwein. Oh my God, that stuff's amazing.
What? Matthew Dodd, who's that? That's not an actor, right? Irene says, how will Matthew Dodd, running for lieutenant governor here in Wimberley, Texas, as a Democrat? He's running against Dan Patrick. I can tell you right now, Dan Patrick's not going to win. And here's some more good news. Guess who's not going to run? Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, good.
I just was not into that. And George Clooney, who was thinking about getting into, he said, no, I'd rather live a good life. He's older now. He's got those beautiful kids, Okay, and then Elaine wants to know, is food shortages starting right now? Is there food shortages? Food shortages.
There are supply chain issues, yes.
Okay.
And somebody asked about those. What about supply chain issues and things like that? And that's kind of bringing Biden's popularity down a little bit. By the way, I see his popularity picking up again.
I see it going right. And the cool thing about him, I was listening to that book. We were stuck in traffic literally in one spot for an hour and 15 minutes yesterday. So Peril, the Robert Costa book Peril.
Yes.
And in the beginning, before his son even died, there was nothing in Biden that really wanted him to run. And then after his son died, he really didn't want to run for president. It was groups of people that talked him into it, but he could care less about his numbers. Absolutely care less.
I think he's a presidential, but I think, what's going to happen is, he needs to come public, which he's already done, but say, I'm declaring war. I'm asking Congress to declare war on coronavirus, COVID-19,
right.
Because that's part of the reason that his numbers have declined a bit, but I still see him bringing those numbers back up.
I do too. I think in the next couple of years.
Absolutely. But well, hopefully before the midterms. And I do think they'll come back up before the midterms. Remember, it's 9 months away, but a lot can happen between now.
Exactly. But what do you think about this debt ceiling? I see they're such idiots. I see Janice Yellen or whoever, she's saying this is to pay for the debts the Republicans had already short. Why are they acting like, oh, and we're going to block the Democrats for saving America? I don't get that.
Well, that's the whole thing, because a lot of those Trump constituents don't even know what the debt ceiling is all about. That's to pay for debts that were already made. It's like, charging on your credit card.
Right.
Those debts you've already made. It's not about future stuff.
But if our rating goes down, we're screwed. Everything goes up. Interest rates go up.
Oh, right. But
I see last minute, I see actual Republicans not following McConnell and saying, no, we're going to have to vote that this goes through.
Well, I see the debt ceiling being raised, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the repubes don't really care about what we just talked about. In a way, they want interest rates to go up. They want all of that. They want our credit rating to go down because they can say, you see what happened under Biden?
But no, it's not. I see big money people telling the repubes, get this together.
Oh, yeah.
Big money people.
Yeah, when big money people.
I'll tell you what, we're going to put all our money towards the Democrats if you guys keep this up. That's what I hear. And here's the other thing. When we win again, come the midterms, and I'll really get into midterms a little later, maybe 4 months from now. I see that because they lose again, that we have enough to change the debt ceiling where we get rid of that. They say just get rid of it. You can't do it now, but you will down the road.
Well, they said that Mitch McConnell caved in. He didn't cave in. It was like, hello, you got to pay the country's debts. And what they should say is, wait a minute here. Biden didn't create this debt. Mitch, this was a debt that you allowed when Trump was president. Hello.
Right. Exactly.
I mean.
So Patty wants to know, the current health crisis, is it ever going away? The good news is the virus levels are going down. The problem is 500,000 nurses are going to be retiring soon. 500,000 nurses have left nursing. There is going to be such a crunch on nurses and doctors. This is the part I saw when I did a reading a while back. I see government coming in and doing massive education where you don't have to take out a student loan to become a nurse. They will train you. They will get you in the system. That's what I see.
Back when I was in college, back when State Street was a prairie, they had a thing in place. It was called the National Direct Student Loan or nursing something. I wasn't a nurse, but I got some money from that. And the thing was, if you would work in a healthcare profession for at least 2 years when you're done with school, you don't have to pay it back. And the reason they did that is because there was such a shortage of nurses.
Yeah, I was around in the 80s when when we had that.
Right. And that worked because it got a lot of people going to nursing and medicine. And
right.
It's exactly what's going to happen again.
Right.
We'll feel the crunch for a while, but they'll say, no, we're going to.
I see a massive amount of very strong, wonderful women, even from different countries. And I see them taking on this risk because a lot of the doctors I worked for a county hospital. They worked in the county because if you worked for a county too, you would get your school loans taken off. You had to do so many years.
Well, here's where the Republicans are going to screw themselves because they're so anti-immigration. But what happened was during the nurses shortage back in, they brought in nurses from other countries like the Philippines or India or wherever to help with the nursing shortage. And so let's see how the Republicans what are they going to comment about that one? Well, because we're going to have to import help. I mean, giving like really low interest loans, or being, forgiving those loans if you work in healthcare for a couple of years, that's all good. And ultimately it will bring more people in medical professions, but that lag time. So you're going to have people to fill in that difference.
Right,
Because
right.
it's going to take at least 4 years to get people educated.
Right, exactly, exactly.
You're going to need people to make up for that difference right away.
Retired nurses, maybe they'll pay them fat to come back or something for a little while.
Exactly. So yeah, there will be a nursing shortage. And so, and ultimately, I do see this community college thing passing, where community college would be free.
Yes.
And think about that. That would really draw people back into nursing and other things, because they're getting a free education.
Tech jobs, stuff like that. Yeah.
There might be a caveat applied to that, like in order to get it free, when you're done, you have to do this, this, or that, and that's okay. But
like even sheriffs and stuff, it's hard to be a police officer, but a lot of sheriffs are leaving LA County or they refuse to get the vaccine. And down the road, because we really are going to get this checked. Most of the people either got the virus or they've got the vaccine. But down the road, I see them not being as harsh about it. I know that I know people that really truly have issues with taking it are going to, they'll just make exception, but maybe just always wear a mask or something. And I don't see children having to get it as much as I did. I see the children's situation, and it's not approved by the, it's like they're bringing it in too fast. So they're scaring people. So I see them take a breath. That's what I saw.
I think if, here again, if people don't want to get vaccinated, okay, fine, but wear a mask. Don't infect other people or stay home. Fine, that's your choice, but it doesn't give you the right to infect others.
Right.
But a lot of people who are anti-vaxxers are anti-maskers.
I know, that's the hard part. Yeah.
And that's what's fueling this. And, my feeling is by maybe March of next year, this COVID thing, thank God we can put it to bed.
I see the end of this year, it's finally going to be settling down. But I think as it settles down and they're just going to emphasize on the mask, that will help. They'll just say, wear the mask, just get it done, wear the mask.
Exactly. So anyway.
And there's some people really, honest to God, don't want to do it. And, how can you deny their right not to? But like you said, you have the right to remain. So make a compromise, just wear the mask when you're outside around other people.
Well, some of the companies, the airlines that either get the vaccine or you're out of here, people, they do give you a choice. If you don't get the vaccine, then you can't work here.
Right. And thus far, the Supreme Court has voted yes, that because a bunch of nurses sued for getting fired from their job. And they said they're a private organization that can do what they want.
That's right. That's right. So.
Oh, the wind's really blowing out here. We're supposed to have.
It
LA
is
supposed to have big winds too. And last night, tornadoes hit Oklahoma and Texas. And I was telling you that my cousin Regina, I'll put her on the prayer for tomorrow. She was down in the storm basement with her husband and their neighbors. And when she tried to get out of the basement, when it was over, she fell and hit her head and scraped her chin. She's good. She's not having any issues, but she has Lou Gehrig. So,
everybody please send prayers and healing energy to cousin Regina.
Cousin Regina.
I have to say, she's an angel. I met her in Sedona and she and I bonded. Your other cousin we did too, but she and they sent me t-shirts when I got home from the Comanche store. She's just a sweetie. So everybody please send Regina healing energy. Her husband's a nice guy too.
Oh, Daniel, he's cool. He's so
and your other cousins too.
Oh yes, Susan and Jim.
And Jim, they're wonderful people as well. So Sue and Jim, I don't mean to slight you.
Right. We love cousin Sue too.
And your sister Deb is wonderful. So
yeah. So, all right, my friend, we got a big game tonight. We've got the Giants, so I got nothing to say. Who's going to win?
Well, I'm going to say the Giants.
Okay, because you know what's best for you. So
yeah, right. And by the way, Linda, we talked about this before the show. She calls me girlfriend and I love it.
I know. I always call him, hey, girlfriend. He's like, what? We got gossip. I got gossip.
Got the juice. Spill it, girl. Spill it.
Okay, sweetheart. I love you. And I'll see
Love
you
you
on
too.
your show. Wait,
Next week,
yeah,
right?
next Monday.
Okay, you got it. Okay.
Okay, honey. You take
Very
care.
well. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. We love you.